Hey there, Chad here. Thanks for joining me. Let's play Rising Star 2. And this is Everyone But Andy. And we are in the stage where we're grinding. We're just going to grind. And I will probably recommend that I skip ahead at some point because this will be a very, very boring Let's Play if I do this for the first 22, 23 days as necessary in order to level these up as I want. But one thing I thought I'd show real quick is we had talked about there's the effectively the Grammy Awards. They're called the Shadies. This little trophy is how you access that. And then I think on the 20th of January is the show, and we'll watch that when we get to it. But basically you can, each category of musician type has 6 nominees that wrote songs, and then one of these songs will get an award. And when you get an award, you get a nice little plaque that you get to put on your wall, and that's pretty cool. Back to what we're doing for now, though. We're going to exit, and we are going to go to the park, and we're going to be very boring, but we are going to busk. And this time I'm going to try to pay attention to the numbers that we see pop up there when we busk. So I'm going to probably have to talk really, really fast here as it finishes up. Now, if one of their instruments falls into disrepair, they won't show up to busk and they won't get experience. We do need to kind of maintain those. Okay, $45 earned plus 0.02 in the popularity. And then over here, what it said was that playing skill plus 1, that's because when we busk for the first 20 points, we get a bonus point. So you'll notice they're now up to 4, which is great. Everybody is right on track there. And then it also said that they had earned experience. I think it was 100 points of experience. Now, there are some days that are special days in the game where you will get triple experience. And those days, when I run into one of those days, I do my best to maximize everything I can to earn every last point I can, particularly early on. Once you're at, level 20, it's not quite as effective. You're still a long time between your levels, but it's still impactful, and you're going to want to learn how that happens. So one thing, you earn experience in several different ways in the game. We've already seen a couple of them. First, writing a song gives you experience. Now, developing ideas only gives the producer experience. But he does get experience for that. So it's not a bad idea to go ahead and do it when you have one of those triple days. And the special days, by the way, are things like Elvis's birthday or Steppenwolf released an album on this date, things like that. They're interesting little things. Also your birthdays. I think I talked about that in one of the setup videos. When your birthday rolls around, you get triple experience. In fact, the entire band will get triple experience on that day. So not a bad idea to pay attention to that. I wouldn't give everybody the same birthday if you create more than one person for your band. Again, you can start with just one and then you can go sign up other people. But I like to create this 4. It's just what I'm comfortable with, and I enjoy playing it this way. Please play it how you see fit. All right, so we have now done that. We can, okay, so let's go back to how do you earn experience. Writing songs, we know that. Merging the pieces, the producer earns. We can also practice a song, everybody gets a little bit. Busking, which we did, we got a little bit. If there was a show tonight, we can go to the city guide. Early in the game, your city will probably only have things on Friday and Saturday. As you become more in tune with the music scene in the city, which effectively means that your local popularity, your reputation has increased, you will start to see other days have shows as well. I have never seen a show on a Sunday unless it is part of a scheduled tour. And then I think you might be able to play on Sundays, but I don't think generally there are shows on Sundays at all in the game. In a larger city, you have more options than in a smaller city, and that's something to consider as well. And if we look through here, I'm wondering, yes, here are a couple. In mid-January, there are Battle of the Bands competitions at a couple of places. And we will eventually want to hit those. We want to win. I love winning those awards. You get a nice little plaque, but more importantly, you get a huge bump to your funds. And that is great. You win a couple of $1,000s for those initially. There's 2 levels of the battles, and it has to do with your popularity. You can become too popular to participate in them. So that's something to consider. And there's kind of some gamey things you can do there. If you sign up for them way ahead, if your popularity crosses over the threshold, you still get to play in the battle. That's one thing. That's probably the primary one. So that's something to consider. Your popularity is nationwide, so going to different cities won't necessarily help with that. But what you could do is go to every city, at least, within reason, go to multiple cities and sign up for tons of different battles of the band in the future. And they are always on Fridays and Saturdays. But that is another way you can kind of maximize those. I think the most I've gotten is 11, but I can't remember if that was after also including Europe. Once you move to another region, your popularity drops back to almost 0, and you can start to do those again. Now, one other thing, there's like 3 or 4 levels of venue, and I thought I'd talk about that real quick too. So the lowest level venues have the names bar and grill or shed or watering hole and really similar things to that. Those are venues that are going to hold less than 100 people, probably anywhere from 40 to 80, I think, are the numbers. So these are little bars and grills that you're playing at, and we will eventually see one of these and do that. But the idea being, know that there are different levels, and you can have an incredible concert at a bar and grill that would not play well at family arena, for instance. So that's kind of important to know. So there's 3 levels. The lowest level are bars and grills and bars, basically. The second level is more like a club, and these have names that are kind of goofy. It almost looks like they could be band names, honestly. The Slippery Wash, the Nice Love. Let's see if there's another one in here. Those are the only 2 I'm really seeing right now. Oh, the Humble Head. So I think in the cities that are the size that St. Louis is represented, you'll have 3 of the low-end bars and grills. You'll have 3 of the mid-tier ones, and then you'll have several of the top tier. And you cannot directly schedule gigs at places that are arenas or stadiums. I'm not sure if, it is stadium is one of the terms. There's probably another one. Theater, arena, stadium. You cannot schedule gigs directly there. You have to have a manager who sets those up for you. Those are the higher end venues. Those will typically have somewhere between 1,500 to, I think 60,000 seats. I don't know what the theoretical max is. Could be pretty high. I know I've seen 60,000. I'm pretty positive I've seen 60,000. Those will come into the game much later. Right now in St. Louis, we effectively have 6 venues that we can play. 3 of them are the low tier and 3 are the mid tier. If we go to Chicago, there will probably be like 5 of each of those because it's a much bigger city. It might be more than that, but I think there's at least 5 of those, and we'll check that out. If we go to a smaller town, it drops down to like 2. So I think the minimum is going to be 2, and then the max is whatever it is based on city size. We can check that out as we go. I don't know that it's terribly important, but what you will learn is that as you play at these places, you gain reputation with the bar and grill the venue, with the venue itself. And that allows you to get paid more when you go back and play again. So that's just something to know about as we move into that layer of things. So we were kind of talking about, and I can't remember, did we busk today? I don't know that we did. We did not. I don't think we did. Let's go ahead and go busk. And while we're doing that, so I was talking about on those days where you get bonus experience, 3 times experience, all the different ways you can make experience in a day. So the one thing you can do is you do a job. That job can be busking. We did already busk today. I'm sorry. I lost track of where we were. So you can busk or do another job. Places will say help wanted. They won't now because we already did a job today. It doesn't want us to get confused. But if we go to another place right now, or if we hadn't done that job, we could go do another job. And you do get experience for doing jobs. It's probably 100 experience points, just like it is for busking. So one thing you can do is some sort of job, which includes busking. Second, you can do repairs. Let's do that real quick. So when we go to repairs, these are the conditions of an instrument. This instrument has a maximum condition of 87 right now. That can be increased at a music store. You can't do it yourself. And its current actual condition is 51. So we can improve this number to that number is what it comes down to. What I usually will do, and I normally don't just do repairs unless it is one of those triple days, because the points, I don't feel like it's enough points for how much you damage these, because you have to pay to get these fixed at a music store if you don't repair them. The repairs will go down as we screw up. So let's start with Angel. She has the highest repair level at 3. She's going to try to fix Topher's drum set. Okay, so she has 5 attempts per day. I think I said 6. 6 is if you're playing on easy mode. So she can try to fix it 5 times. You'll notice right now it's at 68, and she failed. It's now at 65. She failed. It's at 62. 59 probably. Yep, we're losing 3 points every time she doesn't successfully repair it. But she's getting experience, right? She got 47. She got 50. There you have it. Now, she never was successful, so her level didn't go up, but she earned a little bit of experience. So that 50 points, if it had been triple, we would have been 150 points, and you do that 5 times, you're starting to see, you're seeing some experience points there. Again, I don't typically do this except on those days, but this is the second way that you get points to maximize your experience points in a day. The third thing you do is you go to a show. We kind of mentioned that, and there are no shows today, so I can't show you how that works. Let's get to Friday, and we will talk about that a little further. But you can get experience for going to a show, and so that's helpful. You also get experience for playing a show. If you play a show, you can't go to a show, and vice versa. So that's important to know. And then the final way you make experience in any particular day is you either record a song or you do what we did over here. You write or practice. So I think that makes 4 possible ways to get points. You can do a job, you can repair, you can go to a show or play a show, and you can write a song or practice a song or record a song at the end of the day. Those are the things, when you hit those triples, you're going to want to try to maximize those as best you can. On Sunday, you don't have the option to play a show or go to a show, so you miss out on one of those possibilities. And I think at one point I might have said I try to avoid Sunday birthdays. Obviously, it changes every year anyway, but that was actually my brain logic when I said that. I was thinking about the fact that, well, you miss out on one opportunity for bonus points then. Okay, well, let's go ahead and write another song. And then let's get to Friday, where we can go and see what it's like to go to a show. And you'll also notice they will say things here. We should do odd jobs to make extra money. Yes, we should. Busking makes you a little money. And as you get further along in the game, you actually make quite a bit of money doing the busking. We can also make like $800 doing some side jobs. Actually, we can look at jobs in the city guide. We can go right here, and you can click on these, and it won't show you how much you're going to get paid. You have to go to the place and find out what it will pay you. But ultimately, that's it. Now, we did learn in one of those very first episodes that you can mow lawns as well. And in fact, you have to do that in order to be able to busk. The park has to be mowed, and it will stay mowed for 2 weeks, and then it will have to be mowed again. You do not get experience for mowing. And mowing does count as a job, but it does pay pretty well. It's $250 to mow a park, $350 to mow a cemetery. That's not bad change for your effort. If you need money quickly, that's not a bad way to go. Usually in a middle-sized town, there's usually 3 or 4 parks and 1 cemetery. So 5 days and you can make well over $1,000. Not too bad. With that said, you're not gaining any experience doing that part of the job. So just something to, checks and balances. Pay attention to what you're really trying to accomplish. All right, let's just, whoops. I already did this today. I am sorry. We're going to want to construct a song. Yeah, I got totally mixed up with what I had ended with on the last video and started on this one. So my apologies for that. But let's go ahead and just start writing another song. Well, we have a 6 now. That's good. And I think we have a 6 down here, but it doesn't match, so we won't be able to use it. That's fine. Angel has a ton of lyrics. Let's see if we can use somebody else's lyrics. And let's see if Topher he has a 3 there we can use. Okay, so this will be a 13. Still basic. We're still kind of getting better at that. You can, fine tune these now because any piece that lights up is a direct match for the pieces that are in there. So we could sub this 6 for a 1, which makes it worse quality, but it would be more difficult. There's no reason to do that right now. We're not trying to get to any particular magic number here other than I wouldn't mind being out of basic musicianship since it is one of the potential categories here. By the way, these will change at the end of the month. And they don't always change, but that's when they have the opportunity to change. And of course, when you move to a different state to do a gig, it could have a different state level attitude. But those change, again, at the end of every month. So let's go ahead and just write, for fun, let's write a low song. You can just see what that looks like. Michelle's sugar deduces forks. Nope, yesterday is the liquid. That sounds great. Great song name. All right. So we're going to say finish. Everybody participated. I don't know that I did. I guess I did kind of do that on purpose. Come to think of it, I picked Angel's riff, right? And so I went through and we used her lyric. That's right. Anyway, that's beside the point. We just got experience for all of those. And if we look at practice, we now have 3 songs. Your low energy songs will be blue. They have a snowflake as opposed to the flame. And well, that's really all the magic there is to them. And when we start playing songs, their types become important, and we will learn that at another time. Let's go ahead and busk one more time. That was a little closer than I want it to be. We hit that, we have to go and have the van fixed, and that costs money. So we're going to busk. And we should be making like $40 when we do this. Incidentally, busking at the beginning of the day and then going and doing your songs gives you those extra points that you just earned. So everybody earned a point. We earned $46, and everybody got 200 experience points. Not bad. Let's go home. Got to hit the right key to go home. You hit H to jump to your home. Eventually, you can hire a chauffeur, and you can go to anything by just hitting C, but it costs you $100 when you do that. But going home is always free. And I was going to say leaving is always free, but you hit X to leave any particular building when you're ready to go. All right, let's do some more development. Now we gained points, but we didn't gain here, and that's something to kind of pay attention to. And I'm wondering if it's because of what we have equipped right now. I didn't think about that. Maybe not. Okay, well, not going to worry about it. It will figure it out for us. So we're going to develop ideas. Here's a 10. And as I mentioned, it will take quite a while to work through this list. There's a lot of things here. And then every time we level, we're getting, 10 more of these per person. That's going to become, it turns out to be a ton of puzzle pieces that you're having to kind of go through here. Okay, there we go. And let's write another song. Let's write a medium energy song so we can kind of see what that looks like. Again, it's not terribly different, but you do want to have some of those because it changes the pace of your show when you're ready to start playing songs. Let's use Topher's 6 here. Let's use Angel's 6 there. Only have 1s left. And then Kiwi should have the most available pieces at any particular time since she's the music writer. So often if I know I'm looking for a piece for her to fit, I'll do hers last because she will have more of them. Angel will have tons and tons and tons of lyrics and other people will not. If you look at that right now, you'll notice like she's a full page. She's literally an entire page of lyrics starting here. And probably going even further down. Yeah. whereas everybody else is like that much, and that's it. So just something to kind of be aware of. Actually, Kiwi has quite a few as well. Nonetheless, let's write this song, and it's going to be called Nobody Grumbles at School. Great name. Let's go with it. Finish writing. Topher leveled because he's just a little bit ahead because of that production stuff. We're going to bump him up there. Write music. Do stage presence. And we will jump out of here. Incidentally, this export DNA, once you've set up a character and you got a look that you like, you can save that, and it will basically save their look. So that's what that does. And that's actually how I built my my tree of musicians here myself. Okay, let's jump out of there. He's good to go. It is now Friday. The city guide is going to show us that there are concerts. We're going to go ahead and hit one of those tonight. First, we're going to go busk. I love it when you are directly, you're literally one square behind the park, because you can just accelerate and brake, and you're there. You can do your gig. Okay, so again, we should see 200 points of experience for everybody, 1 point in playing skill, roughly $50, $45, and Angel level. Now, she probably leveled a little early because she probably has had more pieces of songs included so far, and that's why we would be seeing that. So I'm going to go to 3 of those with her still, 1 of those, and 1 stage presence. Now, let's go to a show. So really, we can go anywhere. All 6 of the lower end ones have shows tonight. So really, we can just find whatever is close on the map. And if we roll over these, we should see the tickets are the music venues. So Barbara's Watering Hole is on the same block as Nice Love, which is catty corner from Jerome's Bar and Grill. And if we click any of these, it will highlight it, and it'll give us an arrow to where it is on the map so that we can kind of navigate towards it a little bit. Once you've learned how to navigate in this map, it isn't very difficult at all. You do not have to stay on the right side of the street or anything like that. And then it will highlight like this once we're there. Stop in that box, go inside. This is the inside of a bar and grill. There you have it. So what we will do is there's a couple of interactions you can have here. Technically, I guess, really there's 3. Once we have some popularity in an area, running into folks, literally coming up to them, and you have to have a reputation in the venue, I believe. You will see what they're thinking about from a music perspective. And what that is the things that are either currently popular or will be popular soon. And that helps you decide what lyric types to write songs for. Second, the bartender is a hot spot, and we can view the calendar. So today is Wings at the Brain, Immense Airs, and Finger Without Animal. Those 3 bands are playing tonight. That's who we're going to go hear. Tomorrow we come back and it's Shelf in the Family. There's a battle next week. It is loaded. It's not giving us an opportunity to play in it because it's full. There's an opening slot. We could pick this up if we click it. It tells us it would pay us $15 because we're not very good. The venue capacity is 100. That's true for this bar. And it tells us who else would be playing, and we would be the opening slot. So we would be opening for these bands. We are nowhere near ready to do that yet. We don't have 6 songs, first of all, and even if we did, they have no quality to them. We don't want to do that. So we're going to say no. We are going to build our funds for the first month and start a library and start practicing so that we're good at the songs we have. That's what we're going to do in this first month. Otherwise, that's what you can do here. And you will see if if you've already selected one of these openings or something, it will tell you that you're booked here that day. You can only have 1 show booked at any particular venue at a time, unfortunately. I kind of wish that wasn't the case. That feels like something that could be done a little differently, but I am not going to judge. And then you usually see 5 or 6 weeks out. Actually, this is a little further than normal. They're way out here, but I don't think they're not interested in us playing for any of these because they're not offering us a slot. So let's come back here. And then the third area we can go and do something is by going to the stage. Now, if there's no show, there will be a sticker on the door that says no show tonight. And you can't go in there, of course. But when we go in here, this is what happens when you go to a show. And incidentally, when you play a show, you do exactly the same thing. You come to this door and you open it up and it'll take you to the prepare for show menu. But since we're not playing tonight, we're just going to watch. This is a show. And we can let this run as long as we'd like. It is ready for us to be done, and we're going to have some results. So first of all, everybody got some song ideas, and everybody got 200 experience points for being here. We gained some happiness. We gained some inspiration. Inspiration is what led to us getting song ideas. Reputation with the bar went up 3 points. And we got reputation with the bands. And when that becomes important is when you go to tour. Bands that you have better reputation with will be more likely to go with you when you go on a tour. Or, yeah, that's kind of how that works. Also, bands will eventually start calling us and saying, hey, we're playing a gig. You want to play with us? That's kind of cool, too. Now, we did spend money going to the show. That's the one downside. We're spending twice as much money as we're making by going to shows. And this is why I don't do it every night, even when it's an opportunity, because you'll burn through a lot of money early on. You will hit that tipping point where you're not worried about money. We're not there yet. We won't be for a while. When you exit, you pop outside, 2 people leveled. That's great. We're going to go ahead and go home. The DJ there, that is Shady O'Grady, and I don't like listening to him. So I skipped past that. Anyway, let's come in here. We will level these folks up. Once he's to like a business of 40-ish, I will stop leveling him in that because we'll eventually get a manager who replaces most of those functions. Not all of them, but most of them. And that's kind of something to consider. We don't need to max this out completely. We do want to max out kind of everything else as much as we can, at least playing one of the writings and stage presence. Yeah, that's really the way I like to go. So again, we are just barely getting started here. We want this number to get to 20 before we start actually putting points in it. Stage presence and writing music. There we go. The same for her. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That'll work. Yeah, that works. Okay, I am going to do a few of these on my own so that we kind of get through this a little quicker. Then you don't have to painfully watch me try to step through every one of these days. I can burn through one of these days in about 2 minutes once I'm going. But that's still kind of a boring thing to just sit and watch. So we'll skip past that. One last time, you notice we're up to 25 points now that I can merge. So that's a step in the right direction. We had some, we used the 6, didn't we? These aren't matches. Let's see if we have any new matches coming for those. Doesn't look like it yet. Eventually we will get to the point where all of these are matched. And there might be 1 or 2 that are squiggly, and it starts to get difficult to find them at that point. There we go. That was a double, I think. Maybe not. Maybe it was a 6, and I wasn't watching as closely as I should have. Feel free to hit rewind and decide for yourself. But now we have a 10. That's good. Let's come out here, and I'm going to go ahead and do a practice. Now, if you don't practice for, we'll say, a week, I think it has to do with your playing skill, actually. These numbers begin to fall eventually if you haven't practiced those songs in that time span. So this 9 will move towards 0 over time. Let's go ahead and select all the songs just so we see that it will break those down. We will not get 9 points in any one song, but we should get 6 points in all of them. Oh, I misjudged. We got 3 points in all of them. So we have a total of 12 or so points that get assigned each time we practice right now. There is a maximum. I don't think a song will ever go up more than 35. So even when you're getting more than 35 points across songs, one song will never go up more than that. and that is important to know. We could just go ahead and practice again right now, and it would just go to the next day, and that would be perfectly fine. In fact, let's go ahead and I'm going to do this one more time because I do want you to see the auto save at the end of the week. There was a thread at one point where some folks didn't realize you could save the game, and they were very frustrated that they had to play till Sunday to save the game. The game does autosave when you get to the end of the week, and it is not like a separate file. It overwrites your game, and that's important to know. So we'll look at that here real quick. So again, 200 experience points, 1 playing skill, $56 earned, and a little more popularity. We're getting more popular locally. And we'll jump in here. And so this is the part that I can kind of fly through the next week or so very, very quickly by just banging through that. We'll get a lot of these matched up. Of course, I'm clicking the ones that don't have matches. That's never helpful. We're down to 7 points, so there we go, 5 points. Okay, that's all of them. And we're going to go ahead and write a song again. We'll go back to high energy. You can name the song first, by the way. And if you change, the name doesn't change. It's a one-off kind of thing. Let's go with 6 here and 10 there. And 6 here. Look at that. We're going to be up at, we're up at 25 point quality. Not bad. We'll finish writing that song. Still basic musicianship. We're still working on that, but the autosave is occurring. It doesn't take real long, but there you go. And here it is, Elvis's birthday. So any experience gained today will be tripled. And it's a Sunday. So there's one thing we know we can't do, and that is go to a show. Let's go ahead and play through this day really, really, really quickly. Because I'm usually standing right here when this happens, I almost always just do repairs first. And I just pick something that I'm not too concerned about. And you'll notice she's getting 72 points now, up to 90, 99, 108. Oh, and he leveled. He wasn't successful, but he leveled. So he gets more points here. We'll put those in production, writing. We'll just stick with those for now. Oh, no, you know what? I do like to move his presence. It feels like stage presence isn't something the drummer gets a lot of points in for their bonus items. Kiwi will work on her own stuff. I usually do have them work on their own thing so that if they mess up, it's their fault. It's really kind of silly and childish, but that's what I do. And as you can see, they just got more experience. So that should be roughly triple what they would have gotten otherwise. Then we're going to go busk. Enough of the busking. Yeah, it's a strategy. It is definitely a grind. There's no question about that, and I'm not going to pretend that it's not. If you are so inclined to do it differently, please do. I just find this gives me a good foundation to get started. February starts to look great. And we will see they'll get 600 points today instead of the 200. There you have it. And a bunch of them level because of that. I think it said we earned $48. That's all right. When it's your birthday, by the way, a lot of times your parents will send you money. It's true. In the game, they will send you money when that happens. So let's see. We want to business, stage presence. Let's do writing lyrics for him on 1. For her, write. Lyrics, stage presence. And for her, write, stage presence. Okay, that was easy enough. The last thing we'll do today, we would go to a show if we could. Let's just make sure of that. But yeah, as you can see, there's no shows on Sunday. We'll come in here. We will write a song. Try to include everybody so everybody gets a little bit of experience. 6 here. 3 here. See if we can get Topher in on this. And then finally, Angel. And I'm doing Angel last because she has tons and tons of lyrics. And we'll write that. And there we have it, 300 points instead of the 100. Okay, one other last quick thing I want to show you here. This shows you your quality of your songs. So as you can see, the very first song we wrote was a quality of 8. We've generally gone up for the most part. This one was relatively low. Our difficulty also has kind of climbed, although it is less correlated because I'm not focusing on it right now. You tend to want to build as good a quality as you want. Difficulty is subjective to what you're planning at the time. I think that will do it. This has been another kind of long episode. Thanks for hanging in here with me. I'm going to fast forward a few weeks to where we're getting to the point where we're ready to start doing some gigs, and we will pick it up then. Thank you for your time, and until next time, fair travels.